What's up, everybody? Jordan Stewart here from Vover. Thanks so much for tapping into the Vover original show. Just a reminder that if you want to drop your opinions about the episode or respond to the host and guests with your voice, go and download the Vover app wherever you get your apps. Vover, voice over everything. Enjoyed the show.
What's going on, Vover Pop, and welcome to the very first edition of the Titans After Show, or as I like to call it, Titans Tower Talk. I am your host, Regular Scott, and every week we will be looking at the new season of Titans, Season 3. Very excited about that, and we got 3 episodes to break down, so without further ado, let's jump right into things.
Fuck Batman.
Titans Season 3 definitely starts off with a bang. And Jason Todd's first 2 words of the new season definitely are a good way to paraphrase what we just saw, and that's holy shit. We opened up with Jason Todd. Him and Bruce Wayne have a conversation. He's chasing down a lead. He goes after the Joker by himself. Anyone who's read comics knows exactly what's coming next. We knew the Red Hood was coming. Now we know how he gets here. We get the iconic Joker beating Jason Todd to death with a crowbar, and that really kickstarts off everything else we see for the rest of the show. These first 3 episodes were very much, especially the first 2. The third one, and we'll get to that, was a little bit more about Hank and, just about the team and the family and showing the bond that they have. But the first 2 episodes for sure were definitely about the relationship of Batman and Robin, and even Batgirl to an extent. Batman and his proteges, you could say that. Bruce Wayne and the kids. It's really all about that, and all about how Bruce Wayne this entire time has been weaponizing these kids, and he finally lost a child. It's something that's something that's talked about on the internet. That's something that's talked about when people, talk about Batman and psychoanalyze Batman, about how he takes in these kids and whatnot. But it's not brought up in movies. It's not brought up in TV shows. And I don't know if it is brought up in comics, and if it is brought up, how much they pushed and touched on it. How far they really, went at Bruce about it. Well, here they really talk about it and talk about the dynamic that Bruce has created. Jason Todd's dead. Dick Grayson almost completely submerged himself into the darkness. That was, the entire first season of Titans was about Dick Grayson realizing that he doesn't have to be this weapon, that Bruce created him to. He can do things differently. So that whole first season was about him breaking this kind of cycle and lifestyle that Bruce had bestowed upon him. And, Barbara's in a wheelchair, and she talks about that. We find out that Barbara Gordon is also Commissioner Gordon now. We find out that Jim Gordon died due to being frozen in a block of ice by Mr. Freeze. That's crazy, man. This actually adds more to what people are saying, that Bruce causes more mayhem than he does stop it. So, it's nice that we get Barbara Gordon right away. She's definitely a strong female character, strong and in charge. And you can tell that she wants to do things the right way. She reminds me a lot of how they portrayed the Barbara Gordon in the Batman Beyond animated series. She's Commissioner Gordon as well, and she's very, strict by the numbers. She wants to do things the right way now, that this is a police matter, stuff like that. So for me, it felt like they took heavily from that portrayal, at least for this Barbara Gordon, even though she's a younger version, but she's already the commissioner. I do wonder if we see her later on this season maybe become Oracle, since she is in the wheelchair. So I do wonder if we get an Oracle, or if she would just be Commissioner Gordon. We also see Tim Drake for the first time. Mixed child, I'm all about my interracials, black and Asian. And I'm one who was not for the race swapping. I am very open and very against race swapping. I believe it's lazy. It's just lazy booking. And there's a lot of minority characters already in DC, Marvel, every superhero genre that we could be using already instead of being lazy and race swapping already established characters, because we don't want to go out of our way and establish a new character. With all that being said, I thought the actor who played Tim Drake was really good. I mean, he's only on the screen for maybe 2-3 minutes, and I wanted to see more of him. I wanted to see more of his family. I wanted to see more of the dynamic with him and his cousin, because that's an interesting dynamic. You know, they seem like they're good friends, but they pick on each other like most kids do. But he seems to have his cousin seems to maybe be in the drug game, because he's got a lot of money, and you could tell he's got a different kind of swag to him. Talking about, I can't have people talking about my cousins without having fly kicks. So he dropped them off a quick 100 without even thinking about it. So there's something else going on there. And I think that's going to be how Tim Drake ends up getting in the game, is probably helping his cousin, saving his cousin, or just, spying on his cousin. But Tim Drake was really good. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of him. You only get a glimpse of him in these first 3 episodes, so it leaves you wanting more for sure. When we catch back up with the Titans, they are an established, well-oiled machine in San Francisco. They've got a good rapport with the police force, it seems. They do interviews and stuff afterwards and talk to the police, and they have a good relationship. All of them except Dick. And, he attributes that to how it was in Gotham, where the only person they probably really talked to was Commissioner Gordon, and it was probably just Bruce. And, after that, Bruce Wayne, I want to go back to that, because that's really the main thing. Now that we've kind of caught up with everybody, after Jason Todd dies, obviously Dick Grayson and the Titans come back to Gotham. And, for multiple reasons, Jason Todd was a part of their family. They're coming to pay their condolences. And Dick Grayson obviously wants to see Barbara, and he wants to see Bruce. He wants to see his family. He wants to see how Bruce is doing, because he knows Bruce could be close to the edge. Well, he was right. Bruce tells him, Gotham is yours now. I don't think I can do this. I can't do this by myself. And Dick Grayson tells him, well, listen, this war that you're raging, you're recruiting kids. And I also wanted to point out, he has already started recruiting kids to take Jason Todd's place. And a cool little Easter egg, we get glimpses of Carrie Kelly, we get glimpses of Duke Thomas, we get Stephanie Brown, and we also got a Daxton Chill. So we got another Robin. Well, we got a couple Robins. We got Stephanie Brown, who's a Robin, and a spoiler, we got Carrie Kelly, who was a Robin. We also got Duke Thomas, who is the Signal, and then we get Daxton Chill, who is a Robin from the We Are Robin crew and the Robin War. So, cool little Easter egg there to see some of the young recruits. And we had pictures for all of them, so I actually hope we get to see some of them down the road. Obviously, we're getting Tim Drake. He's going to be the next recruit, but now that we know Stephanie and Carrie and all them, Carrie's one of my favorite Robins, so I hope she's the next one that we get. It'll probably be Stephanie, though, since Stephanie and Tim have a little thing going on, or they had a thing going on in the comics. And Tim's also bi, so maybe Stephanie's not in the picture. Maybe he'll have a boyfriend in the show. Who knows? Maybe we'll get Bernard in the show. We'll see. But back to the Titans. So then we get Jason Todd. He reveals himself to be the Red Hood. Him and Nightwing have a confrontation face-to-face. They have a nice little hand-to-hand combat. Nightwing, who is probably just second to Bruce Wayne in hand-to-hand combat, he handily handles Jason Todd, beats him pretty easily, smashes part of his mask, so and he gets to reveal as Jason Todd, and it's a shocker for him. He's devastated. He ends up going and digging up Jason Todd's grave because he can't believe what he's seeing. And now he's figuring out what happened. How did he come back? Was it Ra's al Ghul? That was a name brought up. And so that's another thing, because Bruce said he buried him. Bruce said he buried the body. And Dick Grayson's like, well, Bruce wouldn't have left if he knew he was still alive. So how did he come back? Are we getting a Ra's al Ghul? Are we getting a Lazarus pit? How did Jason Todd come back? That's going to be a question we ask. So we do the cat and mouse. Jason Todd he's playing the game. He's got a lot of Bruce in him. He plays the mind games really well. We get to a point where Titans are in Gotham. He tricks the Titans, blows up a bank. Barbara Gordon is pissed and lets Dick Grayson know all about it. And you could tell that really got to Dick because she lets him know, hey, Bruce wouldn't have let that happen. You have to be better. You have to be a better Batman. Bruce wouldn't have let that happen. Because after Bruce Wayne kills the Joker, he flies off the grid. Let's also throw that out there. So he's gone for now. Obviously, he's probably going to make a big triumphant entrance, but he's gone for now. Titans get exposed there. So now Jason Todd puts on his acting chops. Let's not forget that in season 2, he told Rose that he was a theater kid, and that was his way of kind of getting away and escaping the real world trauma or real world troubles that he had. So he puts on his acting chops and he calls Hank. And he tells Hank, hey, man, I really need somebody, but you can't tell Dick. I need somebody to talk to, and I thought you would be the guy. He really connects with Hank on an emotional level. And what he ends up doing, he ends up tricking Hank and putting a bomb on his heart that is connected to his heart rate and his heartbeats. So then the whole third episode is about them trying to figure out how to get this bomb out of his chest, and he gets a lot of heart-to-heart moments with every character gets a heart-to-heart moment with Hank at some point. You see him and Gar's friendship. Crypto never leaves his side. Never leaves his side. Dick ends up calling him, and he told Hawk, he told Dove before he left, he said, hey, I'm not going in that room because if I go in that room, I'm only going in to tell him goodbye. I'll call him, but I can't go in there unless I know he's safe. And Jason Todd told him the only way I will deactivate this bomb and give you the device to deactivate it is if you bring me, I think it was $2 million in gold. And Dick Grayson was like, no, I'm not doing that. And Dove said, I will. So she goes and robs the bank. And she gets the gold and she gets to Jason Todd, and Jason Todd tells him, hey, if you want it, it's right there. He's got a trigger in his hand, and he tells her, if I let my thumb off of this, it will deactivate the bomb in Hank's chest. All you have to do is kill me, is shoot me. Shoot me in the head and kill me. And she told Hawk beforehand, if it came to it, I was going to handle it. I can handle it. And Dick Grayson tries his hardest to stop her. He's like, no, this is what Jason wants. Don't give in to what he wants. Don't do what he wants. She pulls the gun out and she pulls the trigger. But little does she know, soon as Superboy fixes the device that's needed to deactivate the bomb in Hank's chest with like 5-6 heartbeats to go. Man, this is heartbreaking. Once she pulls the trigger and Jason lets her know that she actually had the trigger for the bomb, and she ends up blowing Hank up. And in a really sad scene, because like I said, Crypto never left his side. The entire time he was in bed, they were slowing his heart rate down, giving him stuff so he wasn't moving, keeping his heart rate low, his heartbeats low. He never left his side, and when the explosion happens, you see Superboy looking on into this cloud of smoke, and you just see Crypto walking out with his head down, just covered in the black dust everywhere. Nothing left in the room but flames and ash, and you could just... It's a really somber note, and that's how the show ends. Dove is a mess. She as soon as she pulls the trigger, she's like, what did I just do? What just happened? And then it hits her. She realizes that she's the one who killed Hawk. And man, what an emotional cliffhanger to end the show on. Really strong 3 episodes. This was a little bit more of a recap than it was my thoughts, because we had 3 episodes to get through. So I wanted to make sure that I laid the foundation. So that way for the next episodes that come out for the rest, every week, we can now just start giving feedback and our opinions. But really, really strong start to the season. The dynamic between Dick and Jason is going to be very interesting as we go on. Really looking forward to see how Tim plays into all this, how he gets integrated. Looking forward to actually seeing Raven, seeing how she's doing, what she's doing with Donna, how that's going. Let's not forget Rose is still out there somewhere. So there's a lot of stones left unturned. We got a lot to get to this season, and I'm really excited to get to it. And like I said, you can find me on Twitter at Need4Marvel vs. DC. That's the number 4. You can also find me on the Vover app at Regular Scott. We will be releasing this show every Friday, so make sure you tune in. Watch your Titans on Thursday. Watch your Titans Friday morning, Friday afternoon. Check me out Friday evening, and we're going to talk about it. And as always, y'all have a good time, because we're going to have a good time. Until we talk to y'all next time. Peace.
Vover.